Single dad entered the wrong hospital room, met a dying woman and married her later. The doctors had given her 3 months to live. That's what made it so strange when Mike Stevens walked into the wrong hospital room and found himself staring into the most vibrant green eyes he'd ever seen, eyes that would one day look lovingly at him across an altar. If you're touched by real-life stories of hope against impossible odds, hit that like button now and subscribe to continue following incredible journeys of love and resilience that remind us of the unexpected ways fate can change our lives forever. "I'm sorry," Mike stammered, backing toward the door. "Wrong room." But something made him pause, perhaps the way she smiled despite the 4 lines and monitors, or how her laughter burst forth unexpectedly when he knocked over a vase trying to exit. "Worst escape attempt I've ever seen," she teased, her voice surprisingly strong for someone surrounded by so much medical equipment. "I'm Ellie. And trust me, you're the most interesting thing that's happened in here all week." Mike hadn't planned on visiting anyone at Memorial Hospital that day. His 6-year-old daughter Lily had a minor checkup in pediatrics, 3 floors down. Somehow, he'd taken a wrong turn after getting coffee, distracted by thoughts of work deadlines and the parent-teacher conference he'd missed that morning. Single parenthood had become a labyrinth of responsibilities he navigated daily since losing his wife to a car accident 2 years earlier. "I'm Mike. And this is embarrassing," he admitted, finally steadying the vase. "I was looking for pediatrics." "You're about as far from pediatrics as possible. Oncology's a different world." Her smile faltered slightly. "Stage 4. The big leagues." Those first 15 minutes in Ellie Parker's room changed everything, though neither knew it yet. Before leaving, Mike found himself promising to return the next day with a proper book, not the medical journal stacked on her side table. He couldn't explain why, but the thought of her facing those white walls alone bothered him more than it should have. Lily took an immediate interest. "The lady with cancer needs better books? We should bring her my favorites." Mike's life had become a careful routine of work, Lily's school, and quiet evenings trying to create normalcy where grief had left holes. Suddenly, daily hospital visits became part of that routine. Ellie, 32, and formerly a kindergarten teacher, had been fighting an aggressive form of lymphoma for 8 months. Her family lived across the country, and her fiancé had left shortly after her diagnosis, unable to handle the uncertainty. "3 months is what they're giving me," she told Mike on his 3rd visit, while Lily colored quietly in a chair nearby. "But doctors have been wrong before." As weeks passed, something extraordinary happened. Ellie's room transformed from a sterile medical space into something warmer, filled with Lily's drawings, books they discussed during chemotherapy sessions, and small trinkets Mike brought to make her smile. The nurses noticed. One even commented that Ellie's blood work showed marginal improvements since her family started visiting. "We're not," Mike had started to correct her, then stopped. What were they? Not quite friends anymore, but something undefined that made his heart race whenever he approached her room. The real challenge came when Ellie's treatment options narrowed. Her doctor recommended an experimental trial at a renowned center in another state. The success rate was low, but it offered a chance when conventional treatments had failed. "I can't afford it," she confessed one evening after Lily had fallen asleep in the visitor's chair. "And I don't know if I have the strength to fight alone in some strange place." Mike stared at the ceiling, his mind racing. You wouldn't be alone. The decision seemed insane to everyone except Lily, who simply packed her favorite stuffed animals and asked when they were leaving. Mike took a leave of absence from work, withdrew savings, and arranged for them to temporarily relocate near the treatment center. His parents thought he'd lost his mind, helping a woman he'd known for just 2 months. "What if she doesn't make it?" his mother had asked gently. "Then she won't be alone at the end," he'd answered simply. The experimental treatment was brutal. Ellie lost her hair completely, dropped 20 pounds, and spent days too weak to speak. During those darkest moments, Mike read to her while Lily crawled carefully onto the edge of the hospital bed to show her drawings. They became fixtures in the treatment center, the tall, serious single father and his daughter, dedicated to a woman many staff assumed was their family. 6 months passed. The 3-month death sentence came and went. The oncologist was cautiously optimistic at first, then increasingly confident as scans showed the treatment working. "I wouldn't use the word remission yet," she warned, "but we're seeing something remarkable happening." Through it all, something beautiful grew between them, a connection forged in crisis but built on genuine understanding. Mike saw in Ellie the same resilience he'd had to find after becoming a widower. Ellie discovered in Mike and Lily a reason to fight beyond herself. Their first kiss happened on an ordinary Tuesday, during a brief walk in the hospital garden when Ellie had enough strength to venture outdoors. Nothing dramatic, just a gentle meeting of lips that felt simultaneously new and familiar. "I didn't plan on this," Mike confessed afterward. Ellie's laugh was stronger now. "Pretty sure getting lost and finding me wasn't in your 5-year plan." 1 year after that mistaken hospital room entry, Ellie's scans showed no detectable cancer. The doctors remained cautious, scheduling regular follow-ups, but even they seemed amazed by her recovery. Their wedding was small, held in the hospital chapel where they'd spent so many hours praying and hoping. Lily served as flower girl, beaming with pride as she watched her father marry the woman she already considered her second mother. "Some people might call what happened to us a mistake," Ellie said during their vows, her now regrown hair crowned with flowers. "You walked into the wrong room on the wrong floor. But I've learned that sometimes life's wrong turns lead us exactly where we need to be." 5 years later, Ellie remains cancer-free. She returned to teaching, Mike found work that allows him more family time, and Lily gained not only a mother but eventually a baby brother. They visit the hospital every year on the anniversary of their meeting, not to remember illness, but to celebrate how a simple navigation error led to an extraordinary love story. If this story touched your heart, remember that hope can appear in the most unexpected places. Life's wrong turns sometimes lead to our greatest blessings. Like and subscribe for more stories that remind us that even in our darkest moments, love can find a way to bring light back into our lives. Sometimes all it takes is walking through the wrong door to find exactly what you never knew you needed.